Conversely, there are people who are extremely beautiful, who probably have a larger career than, say, their acting talent might otherwise dictate, because they're so spectacular looking and the camera loves them.
We all know that beauty is admired, envied, and imitated. Aristotle said, "No one that is not blind could ask that question." We know it when we see it, don't we?
5, 4, 3.
At her lab at Massachusetts General Hospital, Dr. Etkoff and a team of researchers have scientific proof that when a man sees a beautiful woman, male brain synapses explode like the sky at a 4th of July picnic.
My colleagues and I at Mass General recently completed a study where we looked at what's happening in the brain when we look at beautiful faces. We know that it's an automatic and quick response. We know we're not thinking about it. We know that it's a visceral response. We've done previous research looking at how we recognize faces. We know that there are particular regions, it's called the fusiform face area, in the back of the brain that recognize faces. Is something else going on when we look at beauty? And in fact, we find extremely intriguing results. What's happening there is that we're finding a whole second circuitry. And this circuitry has to do with reward.
This isn't all that's amazed scientists. They've also marveled at the fact that a baby's eyes are almost adult size at birth, while the hands and feet are tiny miniatures of what they'll become. Why? Because huge eyes and small hands elicit tender feelings from adults. These biological triggers inoculate babies against predatory or aggressive behavior. Other species, from lion cubs to baby chimps, have similar protective traits. In other words, they're irresistible because without care, they die. Even from these first moments, beauty figures in the drama of life. Beautiful babies seem to get better care and treatment.
Attractive people are treated differently right from birth. So it's not just children, it's infants as well. There have been studies with very young infants and their mothers, videotaped in the hospital, where mothers of the most attractive infants will play more, coo and cuddle and play more. They won't neglect the less attractive infants, but it's so right from birth that beauty, sprinkles stardust even in a mother's eye.
We like to pretend that looks don't matter, but we all know they do. We can't resist the opportunity to look at ourselves in the mirror. We do this not necessarily to see ourselves as we are, but to try and figure out how others see us and judge our own appeal. Are we good looking? Looking means we're vain if someone catches us. But if we think no one's looking, then we look long and hard.
When we look in a mirror, we're preening for ourselves, and in part for ourselves so that we can understand what others are seeing. And it's quite interesting. It really focuses attention on the self.
The mirror tells the truth. And women know they're being judged on their looks by men and by other women.
The competitiveness among women, the hatred and the bitterness among women because of the primacy given to the nubile young woman by nature. I think it's one of the cruelest facts of life that a woman has to learn.
So now we've discovered that beauty isn't skin deep. It's as vital to the human race as food, water, and air. So where do our ideas of beauty come from? Is our perception of beauty informed by nature or nurture? What if our extreme sensitivity to beauty is hardwired, that is, governed by circuits in the brain shaped by natural selection? Maybe we look at smooth skin, thick shiny hair, curved waists, and symmetrical bodies because we're programmed to do just that. Let's find someone whose brain hasn't been overwhelmed by years of media saturation. A 6-month-old baby. Perfect.
We're going to bring infants into the lab and give a demonstration about how infants will actually show a preference for attractive faces over less attractive faces. We're going to put two faces up on computer screens at the same time and then simply just measure the kids' looking times back and forth at faces. It's proven to be a very reliable measure of aesthetic preference.
Because a baby might be influenced by its mother's response to the images, all the mothers wear masks.
Okay, we're ready to get going.
Our subject, Sam, is 6 months old. He spent about 6 seconds looking at attractive faces and about 2 or 3 seconds on the unattractive ones. The unattractive faces are asymmetrical, eyes set closely together, smaller lips, undefined cheekbones. The attractive ones were much more symmetrical, faces with balanced proportions.
He's definitely identifying attractiveness in the face and paying more attention to it at this age.
Although our cameras were a slight distraction to Sam, he proved that infants know what's beautiful and what's not, even before society tells them. Nothing captures our attention like a human face, and nothing rivals the face in communicative power. We notice beauty in a face quickly and automatically. How quickly? Scientists measure the snap judgment in less than 0.2 of 1 second. And even if we look longer, our judgment is unlikely to change. And what criteria do we employ? The same exact characteristics mentioned earlier: clarity, symmetry, harmony, and vivid color that define beauty for the infant. The perfect face is a mysterious concept. Is there a face out there that is beautiful and universally attractive? We paired our beauty expert with a world-renowned police sketch artist.
Hi, it's Nancy. My idea for this is that you and I would create together a portrait of a really beautiful face, taking features that different researchers have found that people around the world find beautiful. Even young children, older adults, people of different races seem to find the same features very attractive. And I thought if I described some of those features, you could draw them, and together we could create a picture of beauty. So perhaps let's start with an outline and take it from there.
For female faces, describing sounds a bit to me like a youthful face.
Yes.
That higher
The
forehead.
brows are set away from the eyes as if that exaggerates the way that a relatively small nose, the forehead seems higher, the eyes seem larger.
We seem to be incorporating things that are from each of the different major population groups of the world. So it's sort of
The universal face.
Yeah, the universal beautiful face.
Incredibly, the perfect face is one that seems to be timeless and raceless. In fact, it might look very familiar.
Just thinking classic beauties. I've made some overlays using some colored pencils. And by simply adding color, makeup in effect, or
This too.
hairstyle, and I have not changed the arrangement
At all.
and it is that general arrangement of the beautiful face
Yes.
of Elizabeth Taylor. It even gets more interesting. Now let me show you another one. Another classic beauty, but with totally different coloring.
Oh, wow.
Again, I moved nothing.
Marilyn.
I didn't move a thing.
Same basic configuration, same basic template. A few distinguishing features on there. Her
You can see that it's just color
Yes.
and makeup.
Absolutely.
If there is such a thing as a perfect face, Halle Berry has one. See, the perfect face has nothing to do with race and everything to do with clarity, symmetry, harmony, and vivid color. When those 4 elements come together, that's beauty. The human face isn't all we've been pre-programmed to recognize as attractive. For thousands of years, scientists, philosophers, and artists have tried to quantify beauty in numbers. Mathematical ideals of beauty go back to Pythagoras and Plato, Leonardo da Vinci, and other great thinkers of the Renaissance. They tried to develop canons on beauty, absolute mathematical formulae. Da Vinci represented this in an illustration known as Vitruvian Man, a mythical creature of perfect, numerically defined proportion. Does proportion have anything to do with how we actually select a potential mate? You might be surprised to learn how important waist-to-hip ratio is in this instinctive process.